Good evening once again, and welcome to another episode of Kaiso Talk. It is a pleasure as always, yes, every Wednesday evening. At this time, we get together, myself, Val, and whoever is available, and we come and we chat Kaiso. Yes, indeed. This evening, Monday, well, how should I put it? We've lost another of the legends, and in fact, he was the last of the Raw Kaiso cast. And this evening, we are going to reflect on them. Yeah, the Lord Blakey, one of my favorites, Zando, another of my favorites, and of course someone that I grew very close to in recent times, the Black Prince. And we lost the Black Prince this week. In fact, I'm sure you'd all remember that the Black Prince, he performed here in Grenada. In fact, it was his last performance at the last Legends in Concert last November. Black Prince died earlier this week, and so this evening we are going to reflect on not just the Prince, but on the Raw Kaiso legends, the cast. And there's a wonderful story behind that. Some really committed and great stalwarts of the art form came together and decided to bring these guys out, bring them back. I mean, these were guys who they were around a very long time, in the early days, the days of Mighty Sparrow and all the others, and they came together, brought them back, and it's probably one of the greatest Kaiso comebacks, if not the greatest Kaiso comebacks of all times. Lucky for us, Val, who is with me every Wednesday, he played a very integral part in that, and so I think we are well placed to have this discussion this evening. We will also be joined by another member who was part of this whole production. He'll be joining us not too long from now, but nevertheless, we are going to have a great discussion and reflect on the legends. So of course we welcome you, our viewers on GBN Television 711, our friends on our Facebook page and YouTube channel, and also you, our listeners on K105 FM. It is a pleasure. Welcome, and let's bring on Val. Val, good evening, and how are you doing?
Good evening, Godfrey. Yes, I'm good. So let me say good evening to Grenada, good evening to Carriacou and Petit Martinique, good evening to listeners on GBN, FM, television and radio. As I always say, it's always a pleasure to be here to be talking Kaiso.
Yes, indeed, Val. And earlier this week, when you reached out and, shared the news, it was very touching, that we had lost the Black Prince, when it seemed like just a matter of days ago. Black Prince, he was in Grenada with us, for what would become his last performance on stage, and so it was really heartbreaking to hear of his passing. Nevertheless, he lived a long and I would think a very satisfying life as an artist, Calypsonian. His contribution definitely will be recorded, and so this evening we are going to reflect on the works of the legends.
That's good. Black Prince, as you mentioned earlier on, is the last of that trio in Raw Kaiso 1. Blakey, Zandoli, Black Prince. And he died on the 20th, leaving us with a legacy of music.
Indeed.
So that, as I'm very grateful that this evening we have decided to pay tribute to Black Prince and pay tribute to the whole cast in terms of Legends Kaiso 1.
Yes, yeah.
The tributes.
Yeah. A quick question, Val. Did Black Prince leave a letter?
The letter is there.
The letter is there. The letter is there.
Yes, a very extraordinary letter too. If one examines it, so that a lot of his work is there for us to really examine. And that's the thing about probably Calypso, that while the artist is alive, we do probably take a lot for granted. So I see Robin is here with us, which is good. So let's pull them in. We take a lot for granted, and when they're gone, we have the occasion to reflect on their work.
Yes.
So this evening is one of those evenings, and I'm happy that my friend Robin Foster, who was the sound engineer on that project, is here with us this evening.
Yeah.
So Robin, welcome.
You all hear me though?
Yeah, very well, Robin. Welcome to the program. It's a real pleasure to have you. I mean, on an occasion like this, as we reflect on the works of some of our greats.
Well, that which greats you are coming late?
Yeah. Right, we basically talking about the raw Kaiso cast. That trio. We lost Black Prince this week. Of course, we already lost Blood, Blakey, and Zando, and Prince was the only remaining one, and so he's now left us. And so we think it's more than fitting to sort of reflect on their works. I mean, they've left some great works. I was just asking Val if if Black Prince left a letter. So yes, indeed. So it's a pleasure to have you, and to hear from you, about your experiences with the guys, especially on that production, because it was a great production. Usually if you go to YouTube and you type something Kaiso, I can guarantee you that's one of the videos that's going to pop up. One of them. So it tells of the quality of work and the popularity of the work of these three guys in particular. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Val, did you give him any background on how?
No, I left that for you.
Yeah.
So you're here, and I don't want to steal your thunder. Right?
You want like a background on how the show?
Yes, definitely.
Well, it just so happened that when I met Lemisi, who is now my wife, who is now Ann Foster, many years ago, when we first started talking, she told me that Zandoli was her uncle. And I said, wow, I like Zandoli since I was small. When I was living on this spot where I am here, but we had an old house and we had the little diffusion box. Jack, Jack Saley,
right?
So yeah, he came in from New York this last night, right? Yeah. So so this little diffusion box, a little green box, used to be in your house in them days. With a little switch, diffusion one. I'm talking 60s, I remember they used to be playing this song, like, I want you to ride on your company.
You want a piece of paper for me.
And as a little child, I used to like, so I always remember this Zandoli stick in my head. So when she tell me Zandoli is her uncle, I say, boy, I used to like this song and blah, blah, blah. So within, in the days when we together, we going down my arrow by her family. And that's how I get to meet Zando, And I telling Zando, well, you should come back and sing Kaiso and thing, and then, I done with that. And I literally begged Zandoli for years, until he finally kind of warm up and say, okay, you would do it, right? And I think I told David rather. I said, David, boy, I think I might be able to get Zandoli to come and do something. And then David tell me, boy, you ever check out Black Prince? Black Prince songs and things. So he said, well, all right, let me do a concert with Zandoli and Black Prince. And he said, okay. And then somebody came up, say, you had to have somebody in between the two of them, to thing. And somebody suggested Blakey. I can't remember who. Right? and we put the show together. You know, I had to, in fact, my wife and brother, you know, people, musician here would know him as Lemo. He used to play in a lot of music bands, play guitar and bass. He's lived in the States for the past 20 years or so. But we got Zandoli to come down, and we had like Wayne play guitar, and we do a little demo with him singing the song, right? And then we took that and we gave that I think Frankie Francis, God rest his soul. He did all the arrangement, wrote out all the music, everything. And then it just so happened in those days, everything was kind of close. We had Charlie's Roots band room was next door to us, you know, so we put Zando, and then we had our studio, engine room. So we had Zando sing, and we put it together, and then Frankie wrote all the music, and then we brought in the band room, and they recorded the thing, and we went to mass camp and did the show. And in fact, we only charged $10 to go in the show because we wanted a crowd for the recording, and you know, our main thing was for the recording, right? But we get packed houses every night, and somebody come one night and complain to me and say, "Well, let's sell this show too cheap. This show was too good for $10, you know." But we were just wanted to pack the place for the recording, right? And the show was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday or something like that. And I think we chose the Wednesday show as the best show. And most of the show is that night. It's that Wednesday night. There may have been a line thing or something I might have sampled from another night and throw in post production, but basically it was the Wednesday night, you know. And yeah, and I think we achieved what we wanted, you know. It sounded intimate, you know, and you could hear the crowd real good, and you know, they even had some like celebrity kind of people, like it had a young Dr. Keith Rowley who became Prime Minister. He was in the crowd.
Yes, yeah.
We had this guy from Suriname, the great Henk John.
Wow, Henk was there.
Henk John was in the audience, and yeah, that's some people in the audience, you know.
Yeah, it's a nice crowd.
Nice crowd, you know. And we and then we recorded it multi-track, and we mixed it back in the studio, make it sound nice, and you know, did a good production of it.
You're saying but you are the chief engineer, Robin, in terms of that project.
Well, producer and engineer.
Yes.
Because I think Frank Agarat and myself recorded it, right? Because I had to go between the TV truck and the recording truck, and you know, because we pulled in it was still Video Associates in those days, with Timmy Mora to do and then we had Tony Hall, deceased. He actually directed it, you know, directed the video part of it, right? And we mixed it down in our studio, and then we mixed down to Timmy Mora, and he put it back together with the video, right? And so yeah.
And that was 1997.
What was it, 94?
Well, I thought I only think it's 95, but when I was looking at the recording, I see 97. Maybe that was for Ronda, but I think it was 94, 95, somewhere around that period.
Ronda, yeah. We licensed it to Ronda a couple of years after.
Yes, yeah.
It was 94, and then we did Rock Kaiso 2 in 96 or 97.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But let me ask, because I'm you know, the show is one thing with the recording and so, but when we speak of, I mean, fellas like Zando and Blakey and Black Prince, around that time, I mean, those guys, they and you mentioned that by then Zando had kind of say he forgot that he give up that kind of thing, you know what I mean, and I guess doing your own whatever it was, and I guess it probably may have been the same, if not yet, but almost to that point for people like Blakey and Black Prince. When
No.
it right no.
Blakey and Black Prince was still very
Still very okay.
very much. Yeah.
Right, but okay. So for Zando, when it was announced that Zando would be coming back and doing this, what was the response from the general public? How did they? I mean, I'm trying to picture it. I mean, because we know Zando.
Every night was, mind you, it was a small venue, right?
Yeah.
But it was packed every night. It was packed. Like people came, and then like when people saw it, they couldn't believe they went.
They come back, and then they come back.
By Wednesday, Thursday, it was packed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when that Wednesday night had a vibe, you know.
Right.
It was, I think it was the biggest crowd the mass camera had ever seen. You know, it was really packed wall to wall. There wasn't even standing room. You know?
Right.
So that people were just very eager to hear Zandoli again, right? I mean, all the artists were good, right? But there were, if you look at the video, you can see Keith Rowley, as Robin said, a young Keith Rowley, singing the songs, singing not just Man Family, but singing the Whip and singing Merchant of Venice and
right.
It was a great concert. It was really, really a great initiative, great concert.
Right.
And we have the music. And, you know, now that it did a lot for Prince, he always mentioned that, right? In terms of recording, there wasn't a whole lot of recording of Black Prince that was in existence. And this recording did a lot for the three artists, right? I remember Prince telling me that sometime after there was a gig in New York, and he and Blakey went to that gig. People hadn't seen the Lord Blakey in years, and he was there performing, and people were pelting money on the stage, you know. and Black Prince said the king only laughing and taking his foot and scrape and pulling in money. Shoving it in his pocket.
That's actually tours international.
Yes, you know, I got some gigs for people called me from St. Vincent and so on for Zandoli, right? It did a lot. You know, it opened up a lot of channels for Black Prince. He toured up in New York. He met his family. He had some really good performances. You know, it did a lot for people, and the music is there, and you know, we really appreciate that.
The truth is, and I do believe that, because for me, I mean, and someone who I love my Kaiso, I did not know of Black Prince until that particular concert. I knew Blakey. Blakey, you know, he had this very unique laugh in his calypsos, so that stayed with people. So I knew Blakey. I couldn't say I knew a lot about Xander, but Blakey in particular, I knew of Blakey, you know, as a little boy. But
Blakey recorded.
Yes, Blakey recorded. But Black Prince, I definitely, after that show, that's when I actually got to know of Black Prince. Then I started searching his music, and then, you know, you got familiar and things like that.
Well, so, I don't know if Black Prince recorded before that, you know. But Black Prince was somebody who you would go to the tent and hear.
Okay.
Right? In fact, I think that was the year before that is the first time he ever made the semi-final. And he used to sing in the tent with just the guitar alone and him. And then when he went into Skinner Park for the semi-final, he did that just the guitar and the voice. And after people hearing this big sound system for everybody else, and he came with that. It didn't go down so good, you know.
Right.
He didn't make it to the final, right? But so that was the first time people really, in general, get to hear it, right? But David, the brother now, who's singing in the tent with him like kind of every year, you know, David is who come and tell me, hey, you must listen to Black Prince, boy. Black Prince has some songs, you know, and da 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 da. When we did this, you know, I really understood the greatness of him and what David saw. You know, that it was a he is the, what to put it, boy. It's the best
blues singer. He is our calypso blues singer. Yeah.
Blues singer.
He always have an issue. He always have an issue. He always has some issue with some woman.
And he's Jamet champion.
Yes.
He's Jamet champion, right? Right.
What I love about Black Prince, while his songs is always about some issue with some woman and him, but every time he sings one, he uses a unique way. So it's not like a replica. While the topic may be similar, but when you listen to him, it's something different. The way he brings it, the vehicle he uses to carry it across. I mean, Black Prince was just a master.
Well, he have one where like he's seeing this married woman, and he's wondering, well, he lamenting how he can't give her any money, right? But so he tell her, look, Friday evening when I get paid, try and come. Saturday morning, not to come. But you wouldn't have any money, right?
Yes.
Money we're working for is end by the paymaster door, you know? So come Friday evening and I'll give you a little money, you know?
I'm glad you mentioned that, Rob. I said I'm glad you mentioned that because while you may have heard, when we recorded Black Prince in 94 there, the first song I actually heard of a Black Prince was Friday Evening. And that was probably about 81. I mentioned that Sunday, Ben Romani's space where he had Cucumber Music on a cassette. I heard the song and I'm saying, wow, Ben, you know who is that? He said, well, you know, Black Prince. And that has always stayed with me, you know, this because it really told the story of that laboring man getting paid by the week, who if the woman don't catch them that Friday before they hit the rum shop or the club, you know, then don't worry to come Saturday morning, right? And, you know, in my early days, I saw that so well. I mean, I saw women.
Friday evening, try and come Saturday morning.
No. I mean, Black Prince was the one I like though. I mean, I like all his songs, but the one about calypso music. We did this wife again. For whatever reason, she just don't like calypso. And like he can't understand it. You know, no matter what he does, he pick up a guitar. She started to make noise in the kitchen, throw down the wares, do all that. And it's how he.
And in the end, he get the shocker he likes. He will use the hole in the guitar when he wants.
The thing about it is that is the quintessential calypso aim, you know, for that calypsonian who is struggling, right? And you have a partner, a spouse, who so that she fed up. You know, you're not reaching the savannah, right? You're not making the big prize, but you're in this thing, chung on a guitar, trying to come.
Kaiso, I had love for you.
You know,
Who tell you
saying,
you could sing calypso?
why you staying in it so long? Is that woman that move on in your eye?
Yeah. You say you love calypso, but you lie. Is that a woman with born in your eye? Yeah.
No. And that's the thing, you know, the way he. Let me ask though. I mean, those guys, the Prince and Blakey and Zando, did these guys actually sit and pen these calypsos, or they I mean, had it in them just to, you compose, you have your calypso in your head and you just go on your belt it out?
I think that that generation, I mean, sorry, Roger. I spoke to Prince a lot. Prince wrote some early songs for Blakey also. You know, not a lot of the songs that he recorded, but some that he sang in the tent. He also wrote for Blakey. I know for Zando there was no writing down anything, you know. So that process was in his head, right? He again, I go back to that story about Millicent and trying to find the opening lines, so that it's in the head. He is trying to work it out. The song is Kusumirin there, and once he get the opening line, that is it. So that yeah, I don't know Prince's process, whether he wrote down anything, but a lot of that generation didn't necessarily write down their lyrics. You know, you were saying something there, Robin.
Well, I remember Prince telling me that, in fact, Mr. Action,
Commander
used to come home and tell his mother, well, I want to carry the boy in the tent. And he used to go in the tent as a little boy with Commander, and that is kind of where he learned the craft, right? And Commander is who I say is the first rap star man, you know? Right? You know, called Commander, and he said, and remember he told me Commander would, if Commander had to go out like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Commander would start dressing at 10 in the morning. Make sure all the clothes, iron,
everything.
Fine. You know, everything. and like, and he have that kind of Commander humor.
Yes.
Right? And but what the amazing thing to me about Prince, what I find is his greatest, is the best use of the Trinidadian language that any caliber. Right? You know how Zandoli have, like Kitchener says, Zandoli was one of the first men with what you call the Calypso accent, which is, right? And Zando's mother, my wife's grandmother, was from, I think she was from Kairiakou. She was from Kairiakou, right? And it has songs Zando sing in a Grenadian accent. I had one farm in my arrow. I didn't want nobody to know. He had a whole songs he sing like in Grenadian accent and thing. And he had that country drawl, as Kitchener call it, the Calypso accent. I think the last man with it now is probably Scrunter. I was standing by the grandstand up in the savannah.
But I think there is a little confusion with the accent, because Kitchener did it with Cockroach. No, but that is the Vincentian accent and not the Grenadian accent. Blakey, let me tell you, Blakey is the man.
We really don't matter.
Blakey is the man. Blakey is the man that had the Grenadian accent locked down. No, and mind you, Blakey and Bomber, because Bomber told me that song that Blakey had about Grenadian, Licks in the Police Van.
Right.
Yeah, oh God.
Bomber is the man that helped Blakey put that Kaiso together. Bomber told me so. Bomber told me so. We were talking. Bomber was my really good friend. Bomber told me. So we were talking about, the Kaiso, and he tell me, say, but Blakey came by me with a song, and we put that song together. So no wonder Blakey had the Grenadian accent locked down in that song so well. You know, tell them say pot, and they say pat, and I mean, I had to claim it is my own. You know? I had no problem with that. I have no problem with that.
Funny enough, I was explaining to who boy. I was explaining to people here, like my son girlfriend, and I was explaining to them. Them was asking somewhere the word kayaku come up.
Mm-hmm.
I remember exactly where, and I tell them like, you know, like even you could be from St. Vincent, Grenada, St. Lucia, any of the smaller islands, right?
Kayaku.
They will just
Lump it together.
they will lump it
Yeah.
together.
They wash everybody in one water.
One way, and they would like a time I was in London, and the guy was staying by Blocker. I don't know if he's still alive, old Trini guy from long time. Remember the kind of man went England in the 50s beating Trump for limbo and thing. And he had a guy working on his kitchen. And me and the guy used to live in Trinidad. And I was talking to him about Trinidad. He tell me where he used to live and thing. And then he tell me what he was really from Grenada. He had come from Grenada to thing, right? And we talked. And Blocker come and tell me, you only Trinidad talking there, he's really a kayaku, you know. You know, like Kitchener, don't come back again, nigga man, don't come back again. The woman say something and he say, I'd rather live with a kayaku than to be with a man like you. I explained to them that somebody was right. I was telling them my mother-in-law was from Kairiaku, and they was asking me where is Kairiaku, and I told them I was telling my granddaughter that it's like how we have Trinidad and Tobago, it have Grenada and Kairiaku.
Right.
And
yeah.
Your great grandmother was from Kairiaku, right? And somehow I say in the Creole language we just say Kayaku. Instead of the Kairiaku.
Kairiaku, yeah.
Or the Creole language does work is that anything that's too hard to say.
You no, it's true. We drop some letters and to make it easier. I
explain to people, right? Anywhere you go in the world, saying Chinese is a derogatory term. It's like saying the N-word or right? But I was trying to explain, like, this girl, parents was Trinidad Chinese, and she came back, and then the people watch me, and they call me Chinese. And I say, listen, in Trinidad, Chinese is not a derogatory term. Chinese is an abbreviation. I said Chinese. Any word with TH, too hard to say.
You drop it. You have to drop it. Yeah.
But right? And no, and even I even heard like the lady from UE who is the language person. What's her name? Dr. Rhoda Reddock. Which one is
no, Reddock is socialist. Or is it Kubla Singh's wife? Which one?
Rhoda Reddock is which one? Is the language one?
She's sociology. She's sociology.
No,
language
is deal with language.
Right, Kubla Singh. Kubla Singh's wife.
Like she was saying that anytime the word like it's too hard to say for the kind of, as how Sprang used to say, how we tonsils bend, right? Right? How we tonsils bend, you know. So a lot of things we just say, it could be derogatory in other places, right? You know, but we have a unique language like
it's part of our culture. That's who we are. I mean that
the thing that you walk on at the bottom of your leg, that's your foot, right? Anywhere in the world. But in the Caribbean, foot that starts from the hip.
No, it's true. Yeah.
The whole thing is your foot.
That's your foot, yeah.
In foot. Right, but we have our language, so I'm disappointed also. So whether it's cockroach or cackarine is not
But no. Listen, this is beautiful. It is beautiful. But you know what is most important about that? Whenever we use words like these, we understand each other clearly. You know exact, and
that is the lyric.
There are some words and there are some phrases that we use. If we're asked to explain them, we can explain it, but we know exactly what we mean. We know what we mean, and it's just a beautiful thing. It's lovely.
Frank had a word called, he just say that is a Zanzipuel, right? Frank, what is a Zanzipuel? He say, I can't explain what Zanzipuel is. He said, but what I can tell you, the minute you see a Zanzipuel,
you know exactly. That is it.
Driving wrong in bridge. And I went past it and say, hey, that is it.
No. Of course. That's it. We were talking. We have a program that we do on Thursday night called We Culture, and that's the kind of discussions that we have, because there's some phrases and words you know what it means, but to explain it, listen, that's a task. It's hard to explain, but you know exactly what you mean. I mean.
Well, right. That is the song. That is Kitchener.
Yeah.
Whether it's cockroach or cackarine. What is most important?
But Duke,
you know what I mean?
Duke had it locked down too. Duke have a calypso, Grenadian Gal. Remember that one? A Grenadian gal make me laugh like hell in a carnival, fet in Shandimel. He told me that that song was actually written in Grenada, and it was actually a true experience, and he had the language locked down in that one. Even the story, just by listening to it, you know for certain that is a Grenadian story. You can't miss it.
Hey, most Trinidadian is either Vinci, Grenadian, or Bajan. Trinidad wasn't a slave colony, right? When the British take over, they find it was underdeveloped, and they bring in the French, and that's why so much are we talking patois and all kind of things, French. And they bring the Grenadian and the Vinci and thing come in to work in the oil and all them kind of things. So it had no, my family though is Bajan. My great grandmother and them was Bajan. Come in, but everybody in Trinidad come from somewhere. All the black people come from somewhere else.
Yeah, mainly Grenada. But listen, Trinidad full of Grenada.
Boy, listen, I remember in the oil boom, the first oil boom, right? It had men had so much money floating around Trinidad. It had a man might have like how a man in Grenada does trim, and he would go Grenada for a trim and come back. We used to go Barbados for the day and buy tires and all kind of foolishness. Woman used to go Miami to buy her shoes, to go a wedding Sunday and all them kind of thing, That was crazy.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Listen, Hong Kong would fly to Miami.
Robin, I know we could chat about a whole lot of things, but I want to pull it back in terms of the road guys. So one is that
no. The point I was making when we start this whole thing, is that Black Prince is the master of the use of the
language. Yes.
Trini language.
No woman ain't go write recommendation.
For no
next
man.
woman's a friend with no man.
No man.
You know what I mean? It's just she ain't want me, that is what she means. So she respect no one and do it. That is beautiful.
And even if you get rate up, The he said if you get rate up, you still have to. Yeah, yes.
Hear more. You can swear the Walker was looking for. Yeah, man. Great.
But it says a lot in terms of how we value calypso. I mean, rather it's on top of the pyramid in terms of a calypsonian. Yet when he came into spectacular, Black Prince is not top draw, but he could appreciate the fact in terms of Zando's quality of sounds. And there you see the difference that such a talent don't necessarily have to make it to the top in terms of winning any kind of accolades from the society, crown and so on, but is really valued for his work, right? Because he is a really masterful composer, right? Working within his own limitations, right? Because he was aware of that, but he has crafted some really memorable songs. Yeah.
Yes, he has.
Indeed. But how was it though? Let me ask. You had people like, of course, Rudder, Gypsy, and the other guy, Prowler, all top-notch Calypsonians, coming in and providing that kind of support to these legends, doing backups, and generally in music, your backups, the whole thing about the backups is like, well, you're a notch down from the actual artist itself. But here you have 3 Calypso monarchs.
Yeah.
3 Calypso monarchs, top class. Men who are rated up there in the world of Kaiso. Coming in and doing backups. I mean, that speaks volume. Let's talk a bit about that. And those guys are now. And actually, Zando actually put a line on Gypsy because he said, if I get vexed, tackling Gypsy and all.
Well, before Robin chime in to give you a whole history of it, I think that it's very clear from the video, right? How much they were enjoying themselves.
Exactly.
So I want to start there. So it wasn't just, putting Rudder, Gypsy, and Prowler as backup, but they being around and they wanted to do that, especially Gypsy, that relation with Mayaro and Zando. He was so happy to be in that mix. And that all of that came through on the video, So I start there.
They know each other from Mayaro.
Yeah.
Right. Zando know Gypsy mother and all kind of thing, right? And Rudder was an executive producer of the show, so he was there, and that, in fact, Prowler used to have that show, that mass camp, that lockdown, that Wednesday night was his night, right? And so he allowed us to come in, right? He was kind, to give us
that night, yeah.
Right. So and he came in and he sang too. If you notice, there was a place where Blakey say, this is King David.
Yes, yeah.
And then he say, and then the next one is my boss.
Yeah, Gypsy, yeah.
The thing every Friday.
Prowler is his boss, yeah. Prowler is his boss.
Yes.
Gypsy,
my boss.
Yes. It was a really, looking at it and listening to them, you could have felt that joy, that happiness. I mean, even the Calypsonians, singing. Blakey was having a ball of a time.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't competition. It wasn't competition. What stood out for me that night, that Blakey was singing, of course, Holy Pussy, and his actions with his hands.
Oh, yes.
And I kid you not, I saw a cat running.
Yeah.
I kid you not, I saw a cat running.
Yeah, he was. No. He had that motion. There, it was just.
The Lord was in fine fettle that night. He was really excellent.
And them stories, but You know how the police come men from the CID, Burroughs, Rani Bab, and one. They say the police tell them flat. It's not a human friend, it's a cat.
It's a cat. Well, I mean, the best part for me is the end. I mean, the woman got so vexed. She say, I mean, you know, if she the way they treated that pussy, she only sorry.
That's should. I read. Put them big wood and go back home.
That's right. Yeah.
So too big is one cat alone.
You know the beauty of calypso, and you know sometimes when you I mean like what we do now, you sit around, you kind of you're going through it, and you realizing how well crafted, how well put together these pieces are. I mean, it's not just a man going in front of the microphone and just throwing out some words with music. I mean, it's the story, and you can actually, Blakey, you can, Val said you saw the cat, you can actually sit there and create like this movie in your mind of what is actually happening.
That song is a very visual song. That Holy Pussy and Steel Band Clash are very visual songs. You know, I just see Invaders Beaton Street coming up Park Street and Tokyo coming down Beaton. I just feel it. You just feel the tension in that.
Let me tell you something. The only thing in Steel Band Clash that I have not been able to visualize and figure out yet is how he get his head bust under the human bed. I can feel that one.
No, it's on top the lady bed.
On top the
running a house, my lady, and quite on top the lady bed. Somebody follow him and bottle and bust his head. You know?
That's so the
kind of away, but somebody was determined to bust his head. Somebody run in the lady house too, and he reached in the lady bedroom,
but he still get his busted.
So that is why he never me again. They jump in a steel band.
Yeah, but that song, there was some contentions that year, right? That's the year that a lot of people felt that he should have won the crown. Blakey.
How would have been before my time?
Yeah. Still Band Clash, yeah.
Yeah, but he won the road.
The road match, yes. Yeah, he got the road match.
Won the road match.
Yeah, he got the road match. Yeah.
Normal. I think it's some of the same things that were creeping into calypso started. Right? It's not a very lengthy song, you know. That's one. Very, as Robin said, very very visual. Maybe just the type of song.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's early '60s. We are in that period of Federation and so on, Sparrow and Douglas split me in two.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? So it would be seen as a good song, but not in the vein to capture the monarch.
Mm-hmm.
But as always, it would feature on the road.
Mm-hmm. But he placed second that year in the Divasia with that song. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. But other songs are the big thing, because independence is looming, the Federation is gone, right? And so that period is kind of a more serious, heavy one for such a song.
Right.
But but great work. I want to draw attention to, Prince passing. The three iconic Calypsonians have gone, but not only the Calypsonians have gone, a number of people who are individual have also departed, you know?
Yes.
And we want to recognize that also, you know, Frankie and Leo Stevenson and so on. So, Robin, you could help us fill in, you know, some of the cast if you remember that.
The original cast, right, is Prowler gone, right? Zando gone, singers. Zando gone and Black Prince gone, right? And out of the musicians now, Tony Voisin is gone, Barry Howard is gone, Frankie and Leo Stevenson.
Yeah.
Right? And I called Tony Voisin already, right?
Yes, yeah. And then Tony Hall
I think yes, Tony Hall.
Tony and Dennis.
Yes, Tony and Dennis gone too.
Tony
Wow.
and Dennis gone.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, like 9 people gone there, boy.
The 10. Yeah, 10.
Yeah.
And you know, if we want to jump to Rock ISO 2, you could add, you could just throw in Brigo for good measure.
Yeah.
Right. Go on too. Yeah.
So we have lost a lot from 94, 95 to now. You know,
I lost another good friend today. I lose
right.
Raymond Edwards.
Raymond, yeah, right.
He's more of a operatic kind of singer, you know. Yeah, but good.
Yeah, you know, guys, I just want. I mean, this is you know, you kind of sit and you reflect and you realize that over the years, apart from this three, we've lost so many great Kaisonians, you know, over the years. And of course, as the years roll on, we expect that, well, of course, we'll all get to that point. But, you know, you sort of, it sort of gives you that, for me, it gives me that kind of frightening feeling that, boy, you may wake up and who's next? I mean, Prince's passing was really difficult for me. He was just with us, you know. And, you know, I was remembering he, you know, in his very unique way, very, very comical. I remember there's a day we went for lunch, I think it was, and he was coming out of the vehicle, and the knee was giving him a little problem, and he's saying, you know, that damn knee, I should leave it home, you know. I should not come with it, you know. You know, and you can't. And listen, and he's saying that, and he's not smiling, but everybody else around him is just, you know,
waking up.
Exactly, you know, and it's just so.
That was Kenroy. I mean, he is in the hospital, and I saw him up until Thursday before he died, the Sunday before he died. But he's in the hospital and going through a number of things, and the humor never left him. Right. I always commented that to him, you know? Yeah, I would tell him and say, wow, Prince, regardless of what you're going through. I mean, he can still see humor in it. Yeah. And that's really, really an amazing characteristic.
It like Sprang was like that too. The funniest thing is that if Sprang was vexed and cussing, it was a beautiful thing, you know. I mean, he's serious, but the way he would describe and how he would fit the curse words in with the regular words, it was a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? And he had a thing he used to say, at time like as we're talking about death, they tell Sprang, you believe it have an afterlife? Sprang say, afterlife? He said, you mean it have people who want two of this?
No, that's, you know, the thing about some of these guys, that kind of thing, it comes naturally. And not anybody could do this, you know. It's not something you learn. A lot of it is just who you are, just natural, you know. And it's really, really amazing. It is amazing, you know. But you know, you as I said, you know, you reflect and you realize that we're losing a lot of them. I mean, for us, we do Legends in Concert, and I mean, we've had, I mean, lots of calypso, and probably almost everyone has performed, you know. And I'm really happy that we got Black Prince, you know, to at least perform for us, you know, before he left us. That to me was, you know, the greatest feeling of all, you know. You know, I was saying we still have the Birdie and Nelson and others still there battling and batting well. And you know, when you hear of people like Black Prince, I mean, all of these thoughts just, you know, rush through your mind, and you start wondering, you know, well, what next? You know?
Prince hadn't performed for probably about 6 years in Trinidad prior to coming to Grenada. Right, with the tent, put him on the sideline, one because of his knee giving trouble and so on. But he wanted to come back out and perform, and right, did what I had to do to bring him to Grenada, and he really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Right, and it really did something for him. It infused a kind of energy. He came back to Trinidad, and he wanted to perform this year. He did get into the review. They accepted him very easily. I mean, why who wouldn't accept Black Prince, knowing that he can perform? He had his song, and just about when rehearsal started, he fell ill, right? Got up one morning, not feeling too well. The knee, of course, is always giving him trouble, but he got up dizzy, and he felt, well, look, let me check myself into the hospital. And he checked himself in, and of course, as he told me, he said, what they're like Dracula, boy, they're only taking blood from him, every minute is blood. Right? A lot of blood tests. They're checking they check for his prostate. They look at thing, and then it's kidney. Yeah. And I did not think that his kidney was so bad, but then when the reading came back, it showed that it was bad, and he had to do dialysis and so on. But he was game, right? The way how he took everything.
Yeah, in
right?
good spirits. Yeah.
Never lost spirit. He knew. He said, "Well, look, I mean, other people." He said, "Look, because he just celebrated 82.
Yes.
In January the 30th, right?" He said, I have seen, younger ones than me, come and gone and so on. He knew he had to live with this thing now. But when the wife called me and told me that he passed, I was in total shock. I couldn't believe it.
Right.
Because Carnival Monday, he was going for the first dialysis at Arima Hospital. And he had to do it about 3 days per week. So I think it was Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And by Friday, which is the third day of that process, having done it about 4 times in the hospital, he left us.
Yeah.
But luckily for us, we have quite a selection of songs.
Yes,
that can
we have
last
the work.
us a long time.
We have the work.
And I guess one of my pet peeves in our space, not just in Trinidad, is how we treat that work and value it. I think that there is a dearth in terms of writing, that we do not put things together and package it and put it out there for the next generation, for posterity and so on. And I think that that is something that is terribly lacking, because when you look at the environment in terms of calypso, right? The younger ones are certainly not coming with that kind of skill. So that it would be healthy for maybe some organization who can take charge and keep works like that out there. I mean, you have Zando, Blakey, so many things to preserve and put there for younger ones, and it's not there. There is still not a book at any level, on Kitchener,
right,
or Shorty or anything like that. So there's quite a lot of work to be done. Robin, what do you think?
Yeah, I started work on something, but I signed a non-disclosure agreement, not to discuss it, but I've done quite a bit of work doing interviews with people and stuff, but so we have that. I tried some time back I had a show called Kicks and Kaiso, right?
I remember that,
I did like 7-8 years ago, and we had and I had it structured for people like Black Prince and the people who Brown Boy and them kind of people who have left us since. Those people who were like great tent people but never record, right? And I wanted to have them like come in. I had was charging very cheap for the show, like a $50. I had a tagline on my advertising, bring our blues and a friend, you know. We would come in there and I would have like a comedian. And then people singing like comic kind of calypsos, you know. I had Crazy and I had quite a few people. David Barrow and you know, Myron B and I get blank from Black Prince because he told me he was kind of sick at the time.
He was ill at the time.
Right. I get blank from I get blank from what the pastor very recently to Creole, young Creole.
Oh,
Creole
right.
Creole call and tell me he can't come because his mother passed. And I say, Creole, your mother now, Creole must be about 80.
But you mentioned Creole. I want to just take a little segue. You know, Creole singing The Slave, right?
Right.
And I saw Aloe singing The Slave at the Mardi Gras, you know, and it just seeing him sing it, it reminded me of Creole. But I know you always love Creole version, so come on, tell us.
No. Just sometimes like once she was singing somewhere, and Creole come and Creole reach second verse and they still pulling chain from behind.
So
you know that theater man.
Yeah, okay.
Right? And that's the point. Calypso is just as much a theatrical art form as it is a musical art form. Right? So in Calypso, you see it on paper, and you say, well, but when you see it perform,
yeah, right? The actual performance,
right? You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but Creole would set up. Creole would come out in the audience and pretend like something bothering him, you know, and then from the Calypso before him, he would run in the back and change, and he would come out and he would sing, "Oh lad," like you see a man with a kushu head kissing his wife by she leg, and all he could do is ball out hard, "Oh lad," you know. But the people out in the audience say, wondering what is wrong with Creole boy, you know what I mean? And so he set them up to come and sing this, "Oh lad," you know. Yeah, but he passed recently too. We losing them.
Creole passed. Wilfred Barker, but yes, Creole.
Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, we and Val, maybe that's why it's so important. The point you made, you know, to have all these works, put together and
we have to preserve it.
Yeah, and
because
for
not only that we have lost the great ones or some great ones, but how do we remember and preserve, remember, and continue this tradition and keep it going in the way that we know it to be and the way that we love, right? Because if you do not do that, the reason why other forms in the US of A is still around and growing is because you can always, young ones could always go back to the master's work,
Yeah.
Right?
Well, our problem is we don't have critical mass.
No.
To support anything, We don't have that.
Right.
In Africa, Afrobeat, you could sell 1 million records in Nigeria. You could. In the Caribbean, you can't do that. You know what I mean? So, and then I don't know. But we have to find a way to put it back, because the clock ticking for we too,
No, definitely.
We're that generation,
definitely.
Right? But if you can't go and take up, let's say, a slim kind of monograph and see, let's say, 10 of Prince songs with lyric and music, right? So that you can gain something from it, right? Something is wrong. I mean, and I'm saying that the same thing for Kitchener, the same for the Brigo, the same for so many. There is nothing there, right? And I think that seriously now that no, but that's just in music. But you need to have it also in print.
Yeah, but even their life. I mean, those guys, they were Calypsonians, and what they did was also reflected in their life. You know, and their life, you know, was reflected in the music as well. So I think it's important. I don't know, maybe they can find a way to interact with the families, you know, get some of the stories, document it, you know, authentic stuff, document it and have it there. Maybe in the museum, you can go to the museum, you know, have areas for different artists, and you can go and get information about them.
But, you know, I thought just in my head, so I want to go back to Kaiso, and that night, there was one of the nights, I can't remember which one it was, but I was standing at that time close to Andre Tanka. You're still around, of course. And Zando was singing the whip. And Andre turned to me and said, "But Val, that bestiality." You know, I mean, yeah, I mean, nowhere in Andre's growing up or whatever he could even think of writing such a song. You know, such a song. No. You know, yeah. So that
I got told you how you said, you see how Zando thing is brushing. You would brush anything, you know, dog, cat, gypsy, and all.
And if I get vexed at tackling gypsy and all,
you know.
I mean, I know, and I asked him on that line, you know. I say, you're tackling gypsy. Say, yeah, the kind of bottom we have, I don't like to say,
there are things that happen at that night that is not radio or television friendly. You know?
Politically incorrect.
Yes, we cannot say it on the air.
But
you know, and one
is raw Kaiso, eh?
Yeah.
Phallic to the bone, you know.
But you know that piece of work, you know, I think it is so important. And you guys, you know, when that idea came to do this, I'm not sure if you all envisioned that it was going to be a piece of work of that magnitude 20, 30 years down the road, but clearly, you know, just the mere fact of sitting. I wasn't there. I mean, I've seen a lot of it on television, on YouTube and so, but just having this discussion and listening to you all, you know, talking about what actually happened. I mean, I'm sitting here and I can actually, it's like I'm at that show and I'm seeing those guys and, you know, can actually figure out all these things happening there. You know, and it's beautiful.
When you listen to the recording, Frankie Francis did some really excellent arrangements of these songs. Right, you listen to his saxophone and Leo Stevenson in Zando's work and so on. Frankie was a master. Of course, Frankie was the one who was charged with doing a lot of the music with telco recording back in the day. You know, he was definitely before Arthur, right? So that he had a way of arranging. And so there is so much to preserve and understand, not only in terms of Trinidad, but in the Caribbean, in terms of this understanding of Calypso, because I don't think that the recording, I mean, yes, I mean, kudos to Robin and Frank Agarat, two of the very best, not just in Trinidad, but in the Caribbean. But Frankie's arrangement, right, that the recording would not have been what it is without Frankie's arrangement and Frankie's input.
Right.
That whole thing.
You could only record what's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that the time it was such a period where all kinds of energies just kind of coalesced together, sprang Tony, Rudder, everyone. You know, I mean, Engine Room was the hub. We didn't mention that. Yes, Robin had Robin Studios Engine Room recordings at the time, and that was a hub, and also much more than that. A kind of brainstorming space.
Yeah.
A number of things would happen there, right? So that all out of that, great things happen.
Other things in the plays Tony Hall would be things we talk about. A lot of things David rather sang about. It would be, in fact, the line about Forge is the first word of the anthem. He got that came from me. I tell David that. You know what I mean? Like, certain, it would, things would just happen there, we would just talk things. And then younger people came and started to hang there too. And then, Marshall Montano used to work as an engineer in Engine Room.
Yeah.
When Marshall was trying to go from a child star to an adult star, he had a very hard road, right? And he got vexed, and he said he just went and produced music, and he come and he started work by us as an engineer, right? Until he did a song with Kenny Phillips, Mama Ding Ding.
Mama Ding Ding.
By all means, right? And became a very big hit, and everybody was hiring him, and he was going away to perform, and he was missing work Monday and Tuesday, and I come in till Wednesday and Thursday, And I told him, well, Marshall, you are a performer, you better go and perform. He still joke and tell people are fired. But Marshall, but people like that pass through, lots of people come and vibe and younger people.
Yeah, the Aussie Merrick, Ataclan, you name them. Everybody.
So Robin, let me just ask you quickly: Are you still involved in that kind of work, or have you retired? Are you?
As we speak, well, I don't know. I had a lot of visitors here for Carnival, right? So I had to turn my studio into a bedroom. That has been happening for the last couple of years, right? So, and I had there was another guy here when Jack, he's another engineer that's worked with me.
Samuel Jack.
He came in from New York yesterday, and I gave him like something I recorded Carnival Monday. He's going to mix that. I have a pan recording to finish before the end of the month, which is this weekend.
Right.
So in fact, there's my backyard, but I actually working. You see, I have my computer here in the backyard. And I worked in the backyard.
Okay. Very good.
But okay. I think the last of the people leaving Friday, and then after next week I'll get my studio back. But I ain't had.
I know. I understand.
A studio now is a laptop, and
yes, that's the thing. You work because every artist don't have their own little studio in their bedroom. You get a laptop with a piece of software, and then all of a sudden you become a big producer.
Well, we just joke about that. Look, I could record 48 tracks on equipment that fit in a car, right? 40 years ago, if you had to do that, you would have had to have a tractor trailer.
I know.
Digital has made everything. And that raw Kaiso was an early digital recording. It was
okay.
That was when we used to use the what you call it? The DA88, which was a little cassette. And we used to record 8 tracks, and we would sync up 2 of them together, and we did it like that. but it was still linear. It was still it was digital, but you had to play it like a tape.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Whereas now everything in the computer, you could start it here, go to there, you know.
Yeah, just do what you do.
Right there, you know. So.
Right.
Yeah, I've been around since I used to cut tape with a razor blade, you know.
Yeah, actually, I remember we had a guy who worked with us in the studio here. His name Ashley Hines, and I recall seeing him doing that, splicing. When you want to edit, you splice your tape, you remove, and you put it back together, and you
Really part of my career, that's what I was doing. And in fact, when it became digital and the younger guys understood it better than me, I still understood the concept of editing. You take this part, you cut it here, you put this part. So they could have worked the computer better than me, but I had to tell them, hey, you had to move this up with you, and we learn, you know. I was at the point where if you didn't learn the digital and learn the computer, you
get left. You get left.
I had to do it now. You know?
Right.
I think Godfrey, Robin, you would have worked also with Richard Purcell, right?
Richard Purcell, yes. I worked TTT with Richard Purcell.
Right. Okay, great. Well, Richard Purcell, yeah, we work together here at the GBA. Yeah, well, that's where we are now. Yeah, he was here with us for many years.
Andy Smart was over there.
Right. Yes.
You know Andy died. Eh?
Yes, Andy died. Yes, I know. Yeah, Andy Smart died. Yeah.
Andy passed. I had a little memorial for him in the backyard here. Yeah, boy. So yeah, and these brothers like in the business too, right? Leroy is a cameraman. Cedric used to work with me has his own sound company, you know.
Right.
Yeah,
guys, you know, it's
you know, with him in the early days too.
Yeah. I mean, Robbie, it was really, really interesting, you know, chatting with you, and I hope we can do this again because sure. I think the more of these conversations we have, I think it is a great way of putting the information out there so people can understand, you know, what all this is about and how much we're losing, and the importance of preserving it, you know, so that you know, the people to come, they would have something to look to, you know, to build on. So I'm really grateful for that. Raw Kaiso couldn't have had a better piece of work than that. Well, of course, except Legends in Concert.
Go your job.
I think you need to bring Robin in for the 20th anniversary later on this year. So no, definitely, it's great.
I have been to Grenada since 2018, boy.
Well, that's too long. That's since before COVID. Yeah. So you're due for a visit. Val, we had to work on that. Yeah.
All right,
but guys, you know, there's only time we have. You know, as we remember the greats, Blake Heath, Zando, and Black Prince, who just left us, and of course, may his soul rest in peace. But we have their work, and we have a lot of memories of these guys, and so I think we what we need to continue doing is to keep that memory out there, you know, so that more people can learn of it and, you know, keep it going. So, final words, Robin, anything you want to leave with us before we wrap for this evening?
No, all I want to ask is this recorded?
Oh, yes.
All right. So, is there like a link we can get?
Yes, you can go on YouTube. Yeah, it's
on our Facebook or
definitely.
Instagram.
Yes. It's on YouTube, it's on our Facebook page, it's always there. In fact, you can go back and look at all the programs that we've done, they're always there. Right, so that's very important.
Let me know the link.
Yeah. If you just go to YouTube and you just type in Kaiso Talk. And
Kaiso Talk.
Yeah, and you got it. Yes, right, yes, indeed.
Right.
So thank you.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, man. Definitely. Next time I come to Trinidad, I'll definitely come and look you up in that backyard to see what's going on down there. Definitely. Val, closing?
Yeah, well, I just want to say that Prince funeral is tomorrow.
I did see something.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Right. You know, so that we lay him down, and So once again, very, very healthy talk. We have a lot of work to do. And Robin mentioned that, we are not getting younger, but there's a bulk of work to be done still.
Oh, yes.
Right? So we do have to find ways to make it happen. And every time we lose such a treasured piece of information, we know that time is ticking. And there is such work to be done. So that we have to find the ways and means to make it happen, right? But it is very critical for posterity and for young ones to understand what this beautiful art form and so on is about. Because without it, we're gonna lose a whole lot.
Oh, definitely. So thank you guys again. Our condolences to the family of the Black Prince, and of course we do remember Blakey and Zando, and we thank them for their work and of course their family as well. So until next Wednesday, folks, you can join us for another Kaiso Talk. Do have a good night. All the best. Take good care.
Yeah, good evening, guys. Take care.
Yes,
Bye.
indeed.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, here is an invitation to join.